we'll get this North Country Property Maintenance APC machine. Hopefully, get through to the big show. Got to thank APC Series for putting on this event. It's another fun week getting ready for this. We had a couple pops yesterday. It was my birthday, so should have practiced maybe a little bit more. But here we are right now.
What's the big game plan here? Just to stay clean and make it to the show, and then it's all on the line?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just get through this, get the top 6, I believe, and see how we can do for the big show.
What's the big key going to be on restarts to keeping everybody behind you?
I just got to make sure you don't miss your shift and kind of just get in your groove, and once you get some clean air, just run your lines and bring this thing home, hopefully.
Now, what do you think about this place? Obviously, bigger than I'm pretty sure anything that you've ever run before. It's got to be fast, but it's flat at the same time.
Yeah, this place is pretty. Yeah, this place is pretty different. So we should have done maybe a little bit more practice last, but we'll figure this out and we'll have some fun. Looks like we're going to bring here, Jamie.
Shea Gamble, driver of the 3-car. Thanks for joining us. Field all set to go out of 4. Shea Gemmel, Trevor Culver alongside him. That is Brady Smith, Carson Nagy, 22 of Pete Shepard. Top 6 will make it to the A main. Rick Burbridge back in row 4 alongside him, the 43. Outside of row 3 in a transfer spot, Jay Dewar. And Shea Gemmel holds serve down into 1. Now Smith will pile it in on the bottom. He'll get under Culver. It's a scramble. Nagy goes up the speedway, opens up that preferred group, and here they come streaming along on the inside.
Hudson Nagy nearly scrapes the outside wall as they start to single file out for the most part. Trevor Culver, though, had a horrific start. Misses the bottom by a country mile in 3 and 4. Along goes Pete Shepard, and Culver back to 4th from 2nd in the storm.
It's been the gun sights of Jay Dewar. Dewar will dive to the bottom. Nagy up top. Jordan Lawrence trying to race his way in that 3 machine. He was in the power rankings this week, or just missed the power rankings at 78 machine. Just on the tail end of it, Jordan Lawrence in the 3 trying to make the show, and he's working his way forward. Now Burbridge in contact with Nagy. He's going around. He's taking 1 with him. We've got a mess down here in 3 and 4. Looks like Zardo got a little piece of it on the way by, and I believe that was Della Riva also in the 74, getting a big chunk of that, now pulling away from the scene of the accident.
Yeah, Hudson Nagy, the one-time most popular driver in the APC United Late Model Series, ended up just coming right across the front nose of the driver behind Rick Burbridge. When you take a look at the replay, try to go for a wide arc. Here's the issue when it goes to taking wide arcs. Sometimes drivers will try and take advantage of that and peek their nose underneath. That's exactly what happened with the 63.
And around he went as he closed the door on the Blue Deuce.
That was a massive hit, too, for Della Riva, who showed some great speed in practice. He was trying to find any way he could to get by these guys. Judged a high side. Problem is, Hudson Nagy was trying to correct up the track.
And again, a great facility here in Milwaukee. One of the oldest racetracks in the world. This place was built back in 1896 as a horse racetrack, Justin. They finally ran the first cars here in 1903 before paving the place in 1954. They ran continuous races here at the Speedway from 1903 all the way up to 2015. So a historic track, the Milwaukee Mile. It used to be the test after Indianapolis for the Indy cars every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a beautiful historic venue here, and it's every time it pops up on the iRacing schedule and official races in some of the off seasons, it's a driver's favorite because of the difficulty level of the circuit, the uniqueness, the history of it. Remember, series such as the ARCA Midwest Tour were scheduled to make their way back over to this racetrack for some of their first races at this venue since that continuous race time period. So this track is on the up and up. It's the question, though, of how many more races do we see in the near future for this racetrack. I think it's going to continue to rise, and keep in mind, there's still the opportunity through the state fair site here at this facility to be able to rent this facility if events so choose.
Well, it was an IndyCar mainstay for years. Of course, it was a big ASA track. This was their granddaddy every year for the American Speed Association back in the days of Dick Trickle and Alan Kawicki and Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin were cutting their teeth. IndyCars have always just put on a tremendous show here in the Badger State. Most grandstand seating at this place in the history of the track, about 46,000, and it used to be full when IndyCars came. Trucks raced here for a long time. From near the beginning of the truck series all the way into the early 2010s. Field getting doubled up now. We're halfway through this one. Hit the front bumper cam from our outside pole sitter, Brady Smith, who's had a pretty nifty little run getting himself up into the outside of the front row for this restart. Pete Shepard getting it done. He is in row 2. Alongside him, the one of Culver, the 43 of Jay Dewar, the 78 of Jordan Lawrence. He is in the final transfer spot. Rick Burbridge, the 29 of Sean Grossman, the 89C of Plattsville's Sean Chenoweth, all on the outside looking in.
And keep in mind, this track is going right to where some of these drivers practice throughout the week in terms of track temperatures. We started at a blistery 116 degrees Fahrenheit, already down to 99 degrees. On par with the pace scene, Gemo sets the field. Green flag is out. Drag race to turn 1 with Smith.
A lot of games with Brady Smith and Gemmel to the stripe, but Gemmel getting the jump. He'll climb in the line. Smith follows in line as well behind him. Now Culver up the speedway, opens the bottom up for Jordan Lawrence. Both those drivers in a transfer position. Rick Burbridge has got to go to the whip here in the second half of this race to make something happen if he wants to keep racing later on today.
Top 5 now single filed out, but keep in mind for that 6th position, keep an eye on Trevor Culver. He's lost another 2 spots off the drop of a green flag on a restart. He's quickly being gained on by Lane Zardo for that transfer spot way up the racetrack off of turn 2. This time keeps even though in distance with the 46.
Zardo, who cut his teeth at Sunset Speedway, now trying to reel in Delaware driver, super stock competitor, Trevor Culver in that one machine. Zardo, a good run off of turn 4. This is where Culver really has a tough time.
And
oh,
Brady
yeah, big
Smith.
Problems for Brady Smith.
Yeah,
Brady
Brady
cost him a
Smith
transfer spot.
absolutely snapped off the corner there, Jamie, off of turn 4. He is really loose all of a sudden. That car has a problem.
Chenoweth goes by. Here comes Burbridge as well. Again, Zardo put himself in the transfer spot when the 39 of Smith slapped the wall and started to backslide. But now Chenoweth's got to go. He's got to get Trevor Culver, who still holds on to that last spot. There's DJ Kennington racing down into 1. Rick behind Rick Burbridge as well. You are looking at the final transfer spot. The 1, Trevor Culver, off turn 2. He holds it, chases Lane Zardo down the backstretch, but here comes the London Recreational Radio 89C of Sean Chenoweth.
And Chenoweth was one of the most improved drivers we've seen at Richmond. Got a lot of coaching from Jake Watson, one of the short track veterans on the iRacing service. Problem is, Rick Burbridge with a good run heading into turn 1 takes the bottom side. Chenoweth gives him the space, taking advantage as well as DJ Kennington. Moved Chenoweth back to 9th, losing all his progress.
Chenoweth loses that spot. Here comes DJ Kennington rolling on through on the bottom. He'll pick up the spot, tucks in a line in Burbridge, but he's got to get a pair in the last 8 laps if he wants to keep racing in the main event here later on tonight. Now, Kennington gets that thing to cut on the bottom again. He's done some real racing at New Hampshire, and that's probably as close of a comparison as you'll find, Justin, to this Milwaukee Mile.
Absolutely very similar track distances, very similar layouts in the turns, the difference being New Hampshire a bit flatter. The problem is for Smith, he's off into the wall again. Brady Smith off in the grass, able to save it, while the rest of the cars make their way in turns 3 and 4 along the rumble strips. Burbridge closes up another 10.
Whale of a job by Brady Smith to keep it off those tires in the inside wall. He is out of the transfer spot. Now you see that race for that final transfer spot starting to heat up down in 1 and 2. It's Rick Burbridge in the blue deuce. The orange number 1 machine, Trevor Culver, out of Lucan, Ontario. Culver holds the spot. 6 laps left to go. Culver holds it. Burbridge wants it.
Well, Burbridge used the bumpers. The question coming to 6 laps to go. Hard charge in the apex. Really low exit off the corner. Still gets a better run than Culver. Culver now tries to play defense. The 2 breaks early into turn number 1. Culver now tries to ride the bottom of Burbridge. Uses the rumble strip for the bump. Culver sideways. Culver saves it. Heads onto the guardrail. Burbridge now in the transfer spot of the battle with Kennington.
How about that by the blue deuce? A great save by Culver to keep his late model out of the fence. For Burbridge, it could be a ticket to the A-main.
Going to be hard to hold on to DJ Kennington, though. Kennington slips up the racetrack off the corner. Here comes Matt Lockwood diving his way for P number 7, able to take the spot away. Can Burbridge hold on is the question. Last time by ran a 31-1. Rest of the drivers range from the 35s to the 37s as the 15 dances.
Yeah, Lockwood all over the speedway. DJ Kennington beating down the back door. Through 3 and 4, they'll work again. And now down to the stripe off turn 4. Kennington trying to get a run back by Lockwood, but he's still got to get all the way to the back of that 2 machine. Burbridge might have punched his ticket with a little contact into the A-main.
Absolutely in a good position. Actually straighten out the fender that was flared out on his car with that contact. In the backdrop, though, Chenoweth into the inside wall. The 89C with a hard hit to the left side of the racetrack. Still continue to stay green in the closing stage of the race as Burbridge now pulls away for the battle for 7th.
That is your final transfer car. Now out front, the scene for Shea Gemmel in the 3 machine. Jordan Lawrence. Check that. Lawrence, your leader. He must have bypassed Gemmel. Well, all that racing was going back on for the transfer spot. Petey Shepard runs 3rd. You see as they work their way down into turns 3 and 4. There's your final transfer car. Rick Burbridge, he's got a comfortable 20 car length lead over Matt Lockwood. And at the stripe, there'll be 2 laps to go.
Burbridge in good position now, currently 0.6 of a second ahead of Matt Lockwood. Last time by was one of the quickest cars on the track. The only driver quicker, Matt Lockwood, right behind him. Through 1 and 2, they rumble once again, but still in a decent spot. Burbridge just needs to make sure he makes no mistakes coming around for the white flag this time by.
Burbridge now working that car down towards turn 1 and 2. This is the final time around.
Burbridge making his way now into turns 1 and 2, closing in on Lane Zardo as well by about 1/10 of a second a lap. But in great shape he is as long as he doesn't make a mistake in 3 and 4. At the front of the field, though, Joe Lawrence, one of 3 drivers not able to set a qualifying time for tonight. Had to go to the LCQ, ends up going from the back of the pack to the head of the field. He wins the last chance qualifier. Gemmel in 2nd, Pete Shepard in 3rd, Jay Dewar locks himself in the show in 4th. Zardo and Burbridge round out the drivers who punched their ticket to the feature. Drivers just outside the top 10 tonight. Matt Lockwood, DJ Kennington, Brady Smith, Trevor Culver not able to advance. Sean Grossman in 11th, Luke Ramsey in 12th, Tom Gibbons involved in one of the early incidents in 13th, Hudson Nagy in 14th, Sean Chenoweth, the DNF, along with Del Riva, round out the drivers who took part in the LCQ tonight. That was some absolute entertaining fun, to say the very least, I think, Jamie, right there in terms of what we just seen in the racing action to try and punch the 28-car field and lock itself in, rather, for tonight. Couple things to note and keep in mind before tonight's feature race here for anyone tuning in, whether it's on the APC United Late Model Series' YouTube, Facebook pages, as well as on speed51.com tonight. Top 28 did make it in. 125 laps will be tonight's feature distance, and a competition yellow may be thrown between laps 30 and 70 if the race stays green in that range to make sure competitors make it on fuel to the checker flag for tonight. Fuel mileage about up to 95-ish laps at the very most here at the Milwaukee Mile with fuel saving. So keep that in mind as the race progresses this evening here at this beautiful venue. As you take a look at the sights and sounds and take a look at our sponsors presenting tonight's APC eSERIES event tonight, I'd like to welcome the winner of tonight's LCQ race, Joe Lawrence, to the broadcast booth. Joe, quick couple questions with you. First of all, had to go from the back of the field to the front of the field. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, I think. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lap in qualifying, but that happens sometimes. So, feel pretty good with the car, and I'm excited to see what we can do to get through the field here.
The track had massive changes throughout practice all the way to the start of an LCQ in terms of conditions. Started very hot, no rubber on the circuit, but then the clouds came over. How was it trying to adjust to that changing track throughout practice and throughout that race to lock yourself in the show?
Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. It's really hard to get around here when it's hot. It's really slick and you're sliding sideways. It's really on the edge, but as time went on, it just cooled off and it just really helped the drive off of the car, I think.
It definitely looked like that, especially with you pulling away by 1.13 seconds specifically at the checker flag over Shea Gemmell. But what's your strategy for when the race goes green tonight, starting 23rd position?
It's definitely not where I want to start, but gotta deal with it. So it's 125 laps, so just gotta take it easy and get through the first couple laps, get everything sorted out, and then try to work my way to the slowly but surely.
Just about a minute or so before the car gets rolled onto the grid tonight. What would you like to tell your fans tonight who are watching along on the various different platforms this evening?
Well, it's definitely, I think it's going to be an exciting race. A lot of guys in here were new at the beginning. I think they've come a long way for 3 races, and I'm really excited to get some side-by-side action in here for the fans.
Congratulations on the win in the last chance qualifier tonight. Good luck in the feature.
Thank you.
That's Joe Lawrence, the driver of the number 78 Pennzoil APC Series machine for tonight, as we get all set to go in just a few moments or so for the drop of the green flag. Drivers will make their way to the grid in just a few moments, and it was a very interesting sole qualifying session to set the top 22 drivers for the field to lock themselves in. As these drivers get ready to roll onto the grid and have fun in the pit lane, it's time to see how they will roll behind the official iRacing pace car for the 3rd race in the history of the APC eSERIES. Jordan Lapsevich came with the fastest time in qualifying. He'll start on the pole alongside Ryan Dyson in row 1. Caden Lapsevich starts in 3rd, with Ray Morneau vastly improving his times in practice. Top 5 all week long. Top 5 starting position alongside Caden Lapsevich. Jamie Dyson starts in 5th, Cole Tim in 6th, Mike Bentley starts in 7th, Dale Shaw, the quickest driver in final practice, in 8th, Howard DiBianzo in 8th position, with Camrath rounding out the top drivers for tonight's event. Blair Wickett starts in 11th, Jade Franklin in 12th, Carson Nagy showing some good improvement, middle of the field in 13th in qualifying. Jamie Cox starts in 14th. Andrew Gretschel starts in 15th with Jordan Sims in 16th spot. Nick Ramsey, Joshua Stoddy, Rick Spencer Walt, Jordan House, Jamie Grover, Jason Wood, Joe Lawrence, Shea Gemmel, Pete Shepard, Jay Dewar, Lane Zardo, Rick Burbridge round out the 28 drivers in the feature race tonight. So once again, reset for those just tuning in, whether it's on speed51.com or whether it's on APC United Late Model Series' Facebook and YouTube pages. 28 drivers, 125 laps. Caution laps do count. Competition caution may come into play between laps 30 and 70 to ensure drivers can make it on fuel. Should be a fun one tonight, Jamie, as these drivers get ready to let rip.
Yeah, I feel getting set to go here. It's going to be a beauty here at the Milwaukee Mile. Again, a picturesque racetrack, and should be a super 125 laps here this evening.
Green flag is out. We're underway for Milwaukee Mile. A good start for Ryan Dyson, but the bottom side control by the Lapseviches. Already much of the field too wide. 3 rows deep in the top 6 positions. Ray Morrow elects to duck to the bottom side while Dyson stays on the top side to complete the end of the first lap, Jamie.
What's one thing about here that Justin is it's just such a wide racetrack. There's lots of room to move around. They work down into one again. Out front, all Trayton Lapsevich, Kane Lapsevich, Ryan Dyson are on side by side for second. Now Dyson will get a line in third, right in front of Ray Morneau. There's the shot off Kane Lapsevich's car as he hustles down into turn 3 off the nose of Ryan Dyson's machine. The Thompson Photography 76, Kane Lapsevich, 2-time winner so far on tour this year.
Caden Lapseviches look very sporty right now, stays behind his younger brother. 2/10 lost last time to the 32 machine. Might be in a bit of tire saving mode early on. Everybody else staying in single file rhythm for the top time being amongst the top 8 drivers. Making their way back into turn 3 once again as everyone matches line for line down to that white line, sliding up mid-apex to dime it off.
Well, now caught out of the groove. It looks like the 07 of Nick Ramsey, and he is backsliding right now. Everybody and their brother going by that 07 machine. He is caught in the high groove. Looks like Jay Cox lined up to take advantage of him as well.
Shows the importance of if you lose the bottom here at the Milwaukee Mile, you're likely getting freight train towards the back end of the pack. That's just what happened now and is still happening for the 07 of Ramsey. Now all the way back in 18th position. Near trouble off the corner though, just behind the leaders. Jordan House nearly snapped his way into the pit lane wall. Coming off of turn 4, everyone still stays stable off of 2.
There's a good shot of Jordan House. Oh, car sideways, P.D. Shepard saves it. With a 120-mile-an-hour lawnmower there for the 22. He gets that APC London City Chrysler Tool Lubricants machine up and rolling again. Problems 4, former Roush Motorsports driver. There's Dale Shaw. Definitely going to be among the favorites here tonight. Fast lap of 29.8. He rides behind Cole Tim right now. Down into turn 3. Shaw putting it on the bottom again. Came within 3 laps and a cup of fuel of winning our opener back at USA International Speedway.
Such a really talented driver indeed. Still staying lockstep with Cole Tim as he still waits to try and provide a mistake. Tries to rumble along the yellow line to try and pressurize the driver in front. A bit of a bobble for Cole Tim down the back straightaway. But the concern has to start to pop up. They're losing time to the rest of the top 6 a little bit by bit each and every lap.
Oh, and I'm sure they're all starting to lose rubber now. We're 7 laps into this run. the tires will start to have a little give up to them. There you see Mike Bentley, Cole Tim in the 57. This all happening inside the top 10 and about a half a straightaway behind your leader, Trayton Lapsevich.
Everyone's still staying in fine rhythm so far, but as this has been going on, you mentioned some of the battles and some of the lead cars. Take a look at Blair Wickett. He's coming off of turn 4. He's been in the mix of a lot of battling already. In the 11th position, continues to dice his way with Carson Nagy, one of the more improved drivers this week. Nagy trying to dive his way to the inside, trying to use the rumble strips to his advantage. Just can't peek underneath the shot chassis machine.
Carson Nagy tries to get it done, can't. He'll tuck in line now down the backstretch. And into 3 and 4, it's Carson Nagy you're riding with just outside the top 10. Nagy up the speedway. Here comes the instant classic. Andy Camerath in the 35. Picks up a position and moseys on by the bottom.
And the bottom starting to really come into play for some of the drivers. Some of them taking flatter lines. One of the drivers coming into the picture now in this group being Jamie Cox and Jordan Sims, both charging the way through. Watch that 78 though. He talked about how he didn't get a chance to put in a qualifying time. He's been very comfortable now that the track's cooled off. He's now looking for 15th off of 4.
Let's go by Jordan Sims. Sim had a good qualifying effort. He was ecstatic with how that Stuff Lubricant Incorporated machine is working. But right now, he's got Jordan Lawrence to his inside. You see the view at the front of Lawrence's car, up to 15th spot now. Lawrence drips it up towards the wall. Down the back stretch, he works here. Again in the Badger State, Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Mile. It's either 1 mile, it's 1.016 or it's 1.058, depending on which sanctioning body you go to ask. But right now, it's showing that it can put on a whale of a show. Nagy now doing battle with Lawrence. That's all happening right behind Jay Cox in the 22.
Right on by goes Joel Lawrence to take away the 14th position in that choo-choo train. Once again, Lawrence backs up the corner for turn number 3. Cox misses the apex in turn 4. Lawrence able to stamp the gas, dives his way to the bottom, able to take the flat exit. Drag races once again to the start and finish line in the fight now for 14th, make it 13th position.
All Lawrence has to do is put it in there and get that car to settle on the bottom. Jay Cox in some trouble. Lawrence goes by. Now here comes another car to the inside of Cox. Nick Ramsey getting lined up. It's Nagy to the inside of Cox. Again, the 07 of Nick Ramsey gets lined up as well to take advantage of the situation. Jordan House lined up as well. Jay Cox doing all he can on the outside to hold them off, but to no avail. He's caught in the second groove, and he is going nowhere but backwards. There goes Nagy by. There goes Nick Ramsey to the inside. Again, House lined up behind him as well. And it is an endless stream. You're helpless when you get up there, Justin.
Yeah, exactly, especially apex off, and we're seeing those effects. It worked a little bit for a couple drivers, that top line on fresh tires in the LCQ. But this is, I think, what we're both expecting. You lose the bottom line once the tire fall off kicks in. You're dropping backwards. Half a second of fall off. Good example, if you go up towards the race leaders, Trayton Lapsevich was the quickest car on track for the first 10 laps. He's already fallen back to his brother at the head of the field, down to 0.3 of a second.
There's some good racing going on. Trayton Lapsevich now coming under fire. You can see the Black Knight coming. His older brother, Caden, out the back window. About 3-4 car lengths back right now as they work their way down the back stretch. And into turns 3 and 4. You got Ryan Dyson and Ray Morneau. This is the quartet up front. They've broken away from the rest of the pack. You can see they've opened up maybe about 25 car lengths out the back of Morneau's car, back to fifth spot. These four are just getting in a comfortable rhythm, picking them up and putting them down. Mike Bentley back in 5th. He works off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Lights out in the 51.
Now Mike Bentley looks really quick in final practice in preparation for tonight. Someone with a lot of sim racing experience, races in series such as Sara and a couple other series with some of the veterans. in these super late models on the iRacing service. Flexing those muscles tonight, was a 10th quicker last time by than Morneau. This time by is another 10th of a second quicker, slowly but surely closing his way back up to the top 4 as Morneau tries to hang on to the back end of the train.
You just can't rush anything here at Milwaukee. You have to get the car through the middle of the corner on the bottom. If you don't, it will just cost you time. As soon as you start to push it a little bit too hard and cross that line, all that car does is just scoot up off that bottom groove, and it costs you on the stopwatch.
Indeed, and this is why tire conservation can be fairly important when it comes to the iRacing service. Back in the early winter time, in early spring, a new tire model was released that prioritized 2 things: tire heating and being able to preserve tires for the long run. Katin Lapsevich, one of those drivers who is showing he is great at saving his equipment, one of the fastest cars still on the racetrack. The gap has stayed about stable in the dirty air a little bit, but Ryan Dyson's closing as the caution is out.
First caution of the A main here, 20 laps in. See a beautiful overhead shot.
I believe it might have been a stack up with Carson Nagy that might have been the cause of this here, Jamie, because there are at least 3-4 drivers in the late teens pinballing their way through turns 3 and 4. Now remember, we talked about a little bit of Nagy before, burning up some of the tires there, Jamie, and dropping back quickly after having that good start and showing that improvement. Instead, it gets a fair amount of contact from behind that I believe we're about to see here up on your screens. I believe it's the 81 Greshel who ended up hitting him at first.
Into turn 3 and 4, they work. You see Nagy on the bottom. And yeah, it looks like a little contact between him and the Sabo Beach Road Warrior. And then that was enough to bring the caution out. Caution number 1 here of our 125 lap main.
Here's an arrow look here, and Nagy had been struggling on the long run, just carried too much speed into the back bumper of Nagy. And that second hit right there blew his motor too. And now they're making contact in live action.
Shenanigans have ensued. Fingers have been pointed. Tempers have flared. This is awesome. Hey, well, we got the break in the action. We'll welcome a guy in who's as far away from these shenanigans as possible. He's been leading the field most of the night here. Trayton Lapsevich, driver of the 32. World War III's going on behind you, eh?
Is it really? I've just been focused on what's ahead, and we've had a really good race so far. Just hope to keep that going.
Tempers, I think tempers are still flaring behind you, but you've had a good run. You and Caden just kind of settled into a groove. Was that the game plan here tonight?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out my long run pace because, and I struggled a little with it, but I was starting to figure it out near the end of that run. And yeah, we're gonna relax for the first few laps because we can't even make it on fuel from this lap anyways. We're gonna have a competition caution here soon.
And you had a good outing there last weekend in the Rowdy Energy Short Track Shootout Series.
Yeah, it seems like I always end up in something at the start of the race, but I was able to rebound and we brought home a I think it was a 4th or 5th, I forget honestly. But yeah, it was a good run for the team.
Well, it looks like we're getting all set to go. Trayton Lapsevich looks like he will be restarting 4th. Everybody taking advantage of the caution here, Justin.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing that Trayton Lapsevich is about to deal with, he's now the freshest tires rather in the field now compared to some of his other competitors here, Jamie. The drivers who stayed out, Stotty, Tim, Dewar, and Gemmel, all played the track position gamble. Here's why it's such a massive gamble, Jamie. Already 6 to 7 tenths of a second fall for these cars in the span of that 20-lap run alone. And this is a track that, mind you, eats up tires with how rough the surface can be.
Yeah, it's a tough racetrack, gritty asphalt. and it is enough to eat up these virtual tires. These guys at the front are sitting ducks. The only question from those guys third on back is you got to make sure you don't run over the guys in front of you here.
Yeah, that's going to be the major difficulty here, especially if there's a bit tire spin they may have. If they hit the gas a little bit too hard, miss a shift, anything can happen. So if you have fresh tires, you're definitely going to have to be careful. This is a massive gamble where you're hoping for caution precautions.
Tim and Stoddy, row one. Right behind them, Shea Gemmel and Trayton Lapsevich. The Nissan Dale Downey commercial vehicles pace truck pulls off the speedway. Cole Tim gets a good lead out front. Stoddy tried to close the door on Gemmel. He's in the middle of a 3-wide. Will Lapsevich go to the outside? No, he'll tuck it on the outside groove. They go 2 wide off turn 2, and Cole Tim is gone.
He was one of the drivers who was able to get only half a second of fall off. Everybody fanning out. Trouble. Dewar gets turned across the nose of Morneau. Caden Lapsevich involved. No caution flag. Yet now the caution is out as Dewar's caught up with Burbridge along the outside wall in turn 3.
I think Jay Dewar got hit by about 4 different guys before and after hitting that outside wall. We'll see if we get a replay of the wild ride of that 43. Down the backstretch they work. It looks like Morneau, well, he tried to close the door on Morneau, and Ray was in there. Milkshake, the sponsor on that 43, and it was shaken, not stirred, after putting in the outside concrete.
Yeah, that car is absolutely beaten up to a pulp now, that milkshake machine, with how hard some of the hits were. Unfortunate for Burbridge, who had nowhere to go as well and has right front fender damage too from having to lock it up. But Cole Tim got the best start of all the drivers who elected to stay out. Stoddy, Gemmel, and everybody else just had stacked up, and to be expected, Caden Lapsevich among the drivers who have to get to the pit lane now with repair damage.
Yeah, a tough break for your 2-time winner on tour this year. He won last week at Richmond. Also won at USA International Speedway 2 weeks ago, but it will not be 3 in a row, at least not without a gallant charge with a car that's a little beaten up now.
Yeah, fairly bad damage on that left front, and if I was him, take as much time as you can to get it repaired. That's what he and Jamie Dyson appear to be doing. Well, if you're Jay Dewar, you're trying to get your damage and pit stop somehow right up against the pit wall. Apparently, it's doable. The left side Shackman somehow got the car up against the wall.
You just never know what's going to happen on virtual pit road. But Jay Dewar is going to go down a lap. As again, you see the Dale Downey Nissan commercial vehicle truck down the front stretch. Dewar gets going. It's fixed. But again, he will be down a lap. As they work through turn 1 here, still under yellow. Second caution flag of the evening.
Keep in mind, among some of the drivers who got those repairs done, Caden Lapsevich elected just to get the damage done. He was on fresh tires, mind you, so that might be a smart move. Why take fresh newer tires when you already have heat in the tires that were already in the car? Got him out in time. But the drivers like Dyson, Shepard, a couple others, they're going to probably have to come down a couple more times to get some of the repairs done, and then hope they can find their way through this field still with 97 to go this time.
Well, still lots of racing to go. Almost 100 laps left to turn here tonight.
And remember here too, Jamie, we're still outside that window of fuel. And outside, just at the edge of where some of the drivers were told a competition yell would come into play if we get a long enough green flag run. That was the 30 to 70 lap window. Guess what? When we go back under green, we start lap 30.
Yeah, so all it takes is one more caution before lap 70, and we will not see a competition yellow. Trayton Lapsevich will restart 4th, Stoddy 3rd, and on the front row, Looks like Shea Gemmel and Cole Tim getting set to get it on.
Should be another exciting start here. Gemmel again took this massive gamble to get the track position. Tim talked about looked fairly good on the old tires. Stotty, though, does have that front damage and really was trying to play defense on that bottom line down the back straightaway. We'll see how this will work out for the green this time.
Well, you got to know you got those fresh tires coming. Trayton Lapsovich will be leading the charge. Ryan Dyson, lights out Mike Bentley. Here they all come down into turns 1 and 2.
Good roll this time for Stotty to get himself clear out of turn 2. Gemmel, though, being eaten up like a shark. Right along, side by side, Trayton Lapsovich for second. He tries to make the move. While they're 3 wide right behind him into turn number 3. Everyone gets by safely, while Gemmel and Stotty get shuffled.
Trayton Lapsovich gets those field goods to cut on the bottom. They put primetime Josh Stotty and the 3 of Gemmel back a little bit, and big troubles for Ryan Dyson. Lost a couple spots in the shuffle. Now here's the battle up front. It's North Carolina's Cole Tim of the 57. And Trayton Lapsovich is coming. A scramble from 4th, 5th on back. They're 2 wide, 3 wide. They get shuffled down to 2 wide, heading into the corner. Josh Stotty now in the wrong part of town.
Stotty gets freight trained this time by Dale Shaw and Joe Lawrence off at turn number 4. Gemmel also in the same situation. Next driver on fresh tires to try and make the move will be Jade Franklin, followed by Tyler DiVincenzo right behind them. They try and fight, while the fresh tire drivers fight right behind them, and the fight now heating up for 9th.
Well, we saw that 2-tire strategy work a couple times last week, but it's all 4 tires right now. Trayton Lapsovich, point and click to the bottom, goes right by Cole Tim. Now here comes lights out Mike Bentley. He's going to take a look to the inside of Tim going down into 1 and 2. Only a matter of time before the 51 comes by and we get a yellow out on the speedway.
Just when you say lights off, lights go on, because Blair Wickett got help this time at a stack up 11th on back. Jamie Cox gave a little bit of a shot in turn 3, and around went the 97 right in the middle of traffic. Could have been much worse. Only got hit by a couple cars, but still fairly decent damage on the 97 from this.
Well, Cox into the back of Wickett, around he goes, then Nagy comes by and plows into him. As the Polar Blair gets rolling the right way, gets that 97 back up to speed, but he's got some work to do now if he wants to post a good result. Wickett was 23rd in the season opener at USA International Speedway, then after a 5th place qualifying effort at Richmond, ended up coming home in 10th.
Tempers flaring just a little bit, it seems, here at the Milwaukee Mile now, but this allows some of the drivers to, again, regroup, try and cool down their tires a little bit. It's going to be important for some of the drivers, though, to maintain that heat as this race goes on. Keep an eye, though, on the 5th place runner, Jamie. Again, we talked about Joe Lawrence having to go through the LCQ. He's now a plus 18 from the start of the race in just 34 laps.
He's had a good run, and right now we'll welcome in a driver who does have his work cut out for him. But if he's shown anything the last 2 weeks, he knows how to get to the front. Caden Lapsovich joining us. And you having fun out there tonight?
Well, if we were still up at the front, yeah. But, you know, this is just a little bit more challenging now. So I'm going to have to pull something here. I don't know whether I can take 2 or stay out one time when other people spit. But, you know, it's been fun. I thank APC, you know, for putting this on. It's fun. It gives us something to do. So
43 got turned sideways, and but you went up the track trying to avoid him and just ran out of room there.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing I could do, really. I felt like if I slammed on the brakes, I think I was going to get drove through from behind. So I only had a little bit of damage. I think we're all fixed up. I think the car's still good, but, you know, I think we'll be okay. We're just going to have to pull some strategy here sometime.
And how big are the tires here today? What you want to talk about a fall off? Tell us about it behind the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see people didn't pit there. I kind of thought that was a little early to play try that. But you know, I understand what they're doing there with track position and stuff. But you know, they're huge. Just in that little 20 lapper we had, I think we fell off half a second or so. But you know, it's just I'm gonna have to try and keep the boots on it, but methodically work my way through the field.
Good stuff. Caden Lapsovich, driver of the 76. We'll let you get back to it. Justin, wow, great race here we've got so far.
Indeed, so far, and I was a bit surprised where we've seen the strategy come into play tonight with the early drivers staying out here. But one thing to note here, Jamie, as the lights are out on top of the iRacing official pace truck, drivers were warned by race control, or rather informed, I should say, that if there is one more yellow, the competition yellow will not be needed. In other words, if we get a long run, there is still that slight chance of one. If we get another yellow flag, that's where everyone can make it on fuel and expect a lot of strategy to come into play at that point, Jamie.
Well, I mean, you get another 5 or so laps in here. If Cole Tim can stay where he's at, or even within a couple spots of the lead, bam, he's got everything's paid off. He's on the outside. Trayden Lapsovich on the bottom. Restart getting set to come. Dale Shaw up there. Here's Mike Bentley. Jordan Lawrence having a great run in that 78. He continues to rock and roll on the bottom. Cole Tim slams the door on Lawrence, who's in the line in 4th. Dale Shaw's going to file into 5th.
Joe Lawrence now getting a good run, Joe. Down the back straightaway, diving his way, potentially into turn 3. No, elects to try and back it up early. Tim slides up the racetrack, move Lawrence to the bottom side. Great corner exit for the 78. Move him up into 3rd position, his highest running point of the race.
The Pennzoil APC number 78 up in the 3rd spot right now. Scramble back deeper in the pack. Rick Burbridge, Jay Dewar into it. And another yellow flag. Looks like Lane Zardo got mixed up in that as well.
Yeah, Lane Zardo, I think, is actually the man who started things because he was in 18th position, really missed the bottom of the racetrack on corner exit, and just drove right into the concrete wall, trying to save it to keep out of traffic, and was able to do it for the most part. Then Burbridge came by. No more competition, is the bright side, though, if you're the drivers up towards the front track position. But it's going to get interesting from here now with 87 to go.
Oh, welcome Mike Bentley into the booth and having a good run at 51.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to be out front here and you know, having a good run again and just trying to keep my nose clean and have a good race. But yeah.
Seems like we've been racing a while, that long green flag run, but there's still a lot of laps left to go here.
Yeah, we still got about 87 laps to go here. Just about saving that right rear tire and not pushing the car too hard to have something at the end.
That's good.
How cool is it racing a place like this, which is like nothing you've ever seen before live in terms of racing?
How about a second?
This it's pretty wild here. You know, you don't see super late models or pro late models on mile tracks too often. The cars are kind of washy on the track, and any little wobble, you're losing a tenth down the straightaway. So it's close racing and it's fun.
It's a lot easier just to look at your relative.
Looks like a lot of room out there.
Yeah, there's lots of room out here, and you know, if you even watch up just a bit out of the bottom lane there, you can get guys just driving underneath and you can get the freight train back. So it's you got to keep that car down low.
It's the second right here.
Good stuff, Mike Bentley, driver of the 51. He's worked his way up inside the top 5. We'll see what he can do in the last 2/3 of this one.
I guess we get to choose race, but I don't understand the game.
Definitely looks like getting a lot of help from some of his fellow drivers and teammates as well. You overhear in the communications there. So, and again, some of these drivers for tonight did get a lot of help from some of the sim racing veterans. Take, for example, it's talked about Jake Watson helped Chenoweth for last race. Was scheduled to help out someone else for tonight. That driver didn't make it into the field this evening, unfortunately. So they're definitely wanting to improve and show what they can do. Some drivers, it takes a few months to get used to the sim. Others, they've taken days to adapt their driving styles to how things have gone. One thing to note, by the way, too, during that interview, Tim, Stotty, both elected to pit and come in for fresh tires.
Well, that should put them good to the end of the race now.
Yeah, the matter of the fact is, though, how long would stay green at this point? So it's going to get interesting to see how drivers elect to play the strategy game, depending on how long some of the runs go here, especially with the amount of fall-off we talked about, half a second in 20 laps, minimum.
Well, we saw how big it was when Trayton Lapsevich finally got going. The first restart where he had fresh tires, not fair because they got about half a lap in. But that second restart, it was only a couple laps. He had them all mowed down and had that 32 back out front.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun here to see how this start goes with the lights out on top of the iRacing official pace truck here, especially with guys like Lawrence. Now back up towards the front. He's been quick throughout the week in preparation, throughout practices. Dale Shaw, he's already been quick throughout his entire time in the APC eSERIES. He's in 4th. Only one driver has not pitted in the entire field. That's the 3 in Shea Gemmel. Everybody else has come in at least once already.
Bentley on the outside, Trayton Lapsevich on the inside, row 2, Jordan Lawrence and Dale Shaw. Row 3, Shea Gemmel again on those original tires, and Ryan Dyson. Then you've got, I believe, Nick Ramsey back in row 4. As the green comes out, they're down into 1, and Trayton Lapsevich putting himself at the head of the pack again. Here comes Jordan Lawrence to the bottom. This is the race for second. Bentley's caught on the high side down the backstretch. He's going to tuck in line in behind Jordan Lawrence, close the door on Dale Shaw, holds on to 3rd spot for the time being.
That really happened in part because Bentley had to make sure he checked up so he didn't fully pass the race leader off the green flag. If you pass the leader to a certain point by half a car length or more, you do get a black flag in the iRacing system. That's why Bentley had to check up, lost the bottom in 1 last time by. Now Gemmel's lost the bottom, down the back straightaway, now tries to play defense as Ryan Dyson wants to get by.
There's Rick Spencer Walt as well making a move. Spencer Walt, no, it's Jade Franklin's going to pick up his spot. He gets by the 3 machine. Had the opportunity to race with Franklin earlier on this week on iRacing. 28 of Dyson out to the inside. There's Tyler DiVincenzo in the 97. He's going to try to bypass Shea Gemmel, and that was the wrong strategy, Justin. Shea Gemmel in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, he's already lost most of his track position throughout this entire run as Dale Shaw now tries to shove his way forward into the top 3 here. Was about a 10th quicker last time than Bentley. But one of the storylines to keep an eye on, remember Caden Lapsevich involved in one of the incidents already this race? He just dived his way to the bottom for P8. He's now moving up and quickly, nearly back to where he was before that incident.
That one with him has been fast all year long as well. Nick Ramsey in the 07, one of our tech staff actually, and a bone stock competitor, Delaware Speedway. Nick trying to get it done against Tyler right now. Off turn 4 they run. There's the view of Tyler DiVincenzo's car.
Oh, big hit. Cam Rapp gets turned around on the front straightaway. Caution flag is out. The 35 hard against the wall at the start and finish line came right up across the whole car of Jordan Sims.
35 ended up last week on the business end of the virtual hook into the concrete there on the front stretch. Let's see if we get a look at it. Camrath on the bottom. Oh, he just was not clear.
Not even
So I thought he was clear. Jordan Sims started to go to the wall, but was not clear. And then turned himself into the outside fence.
Yeah, Sims did miss the corner, and it's about maybe a 50-50 too. Yes, Camrath came up, absolutely. But the thing is, Sims was way far away from the outside wall coming off the corner, took a very late arc to try and slide up to the fence. And Camrath expected him to go all the way up to the wall, instead gets hooked around.
Well, welcome into the broadcast booth, Dale Shaw, driver of the 83 machine, and man, you've been fast all season long. Fast again tonight. Is tonight the night you put that W up there?
We're just trying to stay out of trouble right now. She's a little hairy out here. This track makes for some wild racing because it's got the Peterborough get to the bottom to it, but it's got the long Delaware straightaways. So it's been fun though. But yeah, we're just trying to stay out of trouble. And I was actually kind of hoping we'd be in 5th again for the restarts because you got to be on the bottom on the restart. But yeah, no, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Does the top ever come around in a place like this, or you just gotta feed the bottom all night?
I don't know if any of our viewers have been to Peterborough Speedway, but it's a very similar effect. The corners are actually kind of shaped like Peterborough too, kind of to the point where it makes you can drive it in high and cut down, or you gotta hug the bottom all the way through, and which kind of makes for the passing if the guy can set the guy up. But no, it's pretty much paperclip, get to the bottom and root the guy out of the way, it seems like.
Have you ever raced at any place like this?
No. No. Honestly, it feels a lot like Peterborough. I know that the straightaways aren't the same, but the corner shape and the how you have to drive the racetrack and the curbs and everything, I find it a lot like Peterborough. But no, I've never raced anything quite like this place. It's I actually don't have very many laps on here at this place either. We just don't seem to come here because it's such a big racetrack and it's tough to pass. But no, I don't know.
How big of a play does drafting come in with these cars on this place?
I don't know. Like, I haven't really noticed much so far. It's more braking is the most important thing of this place. Like, you gotta outbrake the guy in front of you and hope he's got the respect to give you the lane. And if he doesn't, and I think that's what happened with maybe the 03 and the 76. And it's just one of those deals where going down the straightaway, your spotter decides if you're going to give the inside guy the lane or if the outside guy's coming down, and then the guy on the bottom's got to decide if they're all going to wreck, so. But I haven't noticed a ton of drafting, no.
Well, it looks like we're getting set to go. They showed a pretty good shot of you in the in-car camera there. Your quarantine's treating you pretty good there, 83.
Man, I'm going nuts inside. I can't wait till we get back racing again, but I don't think I have a mark on this thing yet, and I might be one of the few cars that don't. So that's the goal here for the next, 30, 40 laps.
Dale Shaw in the 83 getting set to go back green. About half a lap away from it. Thanks for joining us, Dale.
And Dale has also had a pretty good spotter to help him along. One of the top drivers actually in terms of connections on the short track for sim racing, iRacing, and Dustin Monboy that's been able to help him along and try and get him up to speed quickly. It's been working well. It's going to be fun to see how this start goes. Joe Lawrence in his best starting position of the night so far.
Well, we've seen how fast he's been all night long, misqualifying, wasted him anyways in the B main. Got to try to take down Trey Lapsevich, who has been doubly tough in that 32 machine. Lapsevich gets the jump. Lawrence forced to fall in the line. He's going to have some work to do now to come back in the 32.
Oh, big crash coming off the corner. Joe Lawrence tangled up. Bentley involved. House rides the outside wall. Stoddy involved. A big one at the Milwaukee Mile. What in the world coming off of turn number 2? Joe Lawrence gets tangled up after a bump from behind from Bentley.
Well, things just escalated very quickly, Justin. And you see what happens on the replay. And you see Jordan Lawrence just try to file in the line in second. Bentley had a run on him, a little tap, that's all it took. Bentley's around, and Bentley got smoked driver's side door. Lawrence, luckily, didn't take a whole lot of damage, I don't think. Other than the initial contact from Bentley, I don't think he nosed it into the wall very hard.
Now, Lawrence's car looks fairly in decent shape, maybe the left front at the most part, but everybody else has got to be in panic mode if they are in that mix of traffic and bumping and banging now, because essentially Bentley just about let that car roll back up into traffic, and guys like Stotty, who had just came down to get his tires about 5-10 laps ago, just had nowhere to go as the whole track was just about blocked.
Wow, you can see the view from Josh Stotty's car, and just you got 2 chances of making it through there. Slim and none, and Slim left town. Carson Nagy into the back of him there when all that let loose.
If anything, that hit from behind kept him out of the way of some of the cars stacked up on the top line you seen ramming into one HR like it was in rush hour traffic. But man, what a time for that to happen now. Really changes things. Jade Franklin now in second, and Joe Lawrence has to start all over again in a track position battle. By the way, did get confirmation from some of our crew members helping out tonight for the broadcast. Joe Lawrence does indeed have his left front fender crinkled up a little bit from that hit inside, Jamie.
What's all these fancy noises?
Oh, we're welcoming Jade Franklin, driver of the 31, into the broadcast booth. Hey, you've survived so far. You've avoided the carnage. You're up in second.
Yeah, we, I don't know, I started 12th there, I think, and I've just been working I just want to save my tires and be easy here, not use up my stuff, and I've just been picking them off one by one, avoiding the wreck, so I'm just going to keep doing what we can, just keep doing what we're doing here and see what we can do.
Been getting a lot of iRacing in the last few weeks?
Oh yeah, I've had it there for a couple of years now, and this whole APC thing, I mean, I got to thank everybody who's doing it, because it really brings all these Ontario guys together here so we can all have some fun during this Corona stuff. So yeah.
What's it gonna take to knock that 32 off here?
I think the biggest thing is be up on our starts here. I mean, these starts here, that's the biggest thing at this track. It's so big, and I gotta try and get down to the bottom here because the top's not the preferred lane, but we'll see what we can do here. Hopefully pick them off.
Had you practiced much here at the Milwaukee Mile before the race got announced? And I would imagine it became all hands on deck for the last 7 days.
Yeah, well, I ran a few of my other leagues there that I run. We've been here the past month. I've raced here a few times, and then this week I put in some laps to get a little bit better. I want to be as good as I can be to run with these guys.
Oh, getting ready to go back green. Jade Franklin, the 31, joining us. Trey Lapsovich and Franklin on the front row, Justin.
Going to be another fun start. Jade Franklin in his best starting position on a restart tonight. Trey Lapsovich has led a majority of the way so far tonight in his Rick McCall Racing Bobby Dale Earnhardt Legacy eSport machine. Backs him up. Green flag waves. Back on the gas they go. Trey and Lapsovich side by side with Franklin. They rush their way to turn 1. Well, they go 3 wide behind him in the battle for the end of the top 10.
Ryan Dyson able to get in the line in third. Dale Shaw in fourth. Dyson on the charge, chewing at that curb on the inside. Now he's got a little trouble. He's got the 83 to his inside. Dale Shaw screams down to the bottom. He'll pile it on in 3 and 4, trying to get around the 28 of Dyson. Caden Lapsovich now up from the back of the field in the top 5.
And Jamie Grover just got turned to the back of the field for the caution flag, Jamie. And that insult to injury right across the nose of Mike Bentley, all the way from the top line, all the way to the middle line to bring us back under yellow. I think you'll see here on the replay there was a bit of emotion afterwards because, again, Bentley down a bit on pace and straight line speed, did not expect that to happen to him.
Yeah, definitely mixed up with the 33 there, and Jamie Grover hard into the concrete.
I think he thought he might have been fully clear, or Bentley was going to back off and give him the line entering the corner, except Bentley didn't back off. And now both cars have damage from that situation. Well, Bentley more so damage, and Grover had his front nose crushed in from that shot you seen to the outside wall in 3 to the safer barrier.
Well, a bunch of cars are coming down pit road. We'll hop in here and talk to a guy who was late coming down pit road. Josh Stoddy, you hung out there as long as you could on those used tires. Tell us about driving on those.
Yeah, I was kind of watching Cole Tim there and trying to stay with the same strategy he has going, and hopefully I can get hooked up with him and Joe here. They have a lot more experience than I do, and get going to the front.
You've seen how big the tire fall off is. Like if we get a caution with 20, 25 laps to go, are you diving on pit road for 4 freshies or what?
Yeah, I'd like to think that I want some fresh buns. Just trying to monitor what I have now, but still lots of racing left, so not pushing the envelope too hard yet.
Now, who you got in the support staff? You got one of the kids spotting for you and calling the shots here tonight, or what?
Yeah, I got Brandon McFerrin behind me. He made some good calls last race at Richmond there. We started 26th and we raced our way up to 9th. Some good calls by him, so hopefully he can guide me to the front again.
First 20 laps or so went pretty green. It's been choppy since then. What's it going to take to get some green flag runs here?
I think if everyone smartens up and realizes that there's more than 10 laps left, and we can get single file here and get racing each other hard and hopefully have a good run to the end.
Did you know much about this Milwaukee track before it got announced there last week?
I have zero experience here. I've never even heard of the track until this week when they announced it. I'm like, wow, I need some practice here. But a lot of these guys on here, they have a lot of experience virtually and in real life. So just trying to get my seat time and get better for sure. Good
stuff. Josh Stoddy, driver of the 17 machine, getting set to go here. Looks like we're going to turn him loose shortly. Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Thank you.
Stoddy in okay shape in 17th position after all of that, with the one to go this time by, but getting more and more interesting as this race continues to progress, and the cautions, precautions, dollhouses filled with caution flags. But of course, it's a tough track to get going on the starts because of everybody looking to get onto that bottom line, and it's been a wild one, to say the very least, Jamie, in this mid-portion of this race.
Yeah, it is a one-groove racetrack, and you got to be a bottom feeder here, and it has been a fight. It almost, Justin, reminds me of the old Bristol, where if you aren't on the bottom, you are in big trouble. That is the way it's been all day, and you'll see as soon as they get green here, down into turn 1, it's just a fight for that inside groove, because if you're not down there, you're going backwards.
See who gets the best jump this time. Lapsevich with a much earlier jump. Green flag is back out. Already clear of Franklin heading off into turn 1. Ryan Dyson, though, stuck on the top side this time. To the inside goes Dale Shaw. He takes away 3rd, while Caden Lapsevich has moved his way to the top 5.
Dyson files in 4th. Again, Dale Shaw 3rd. Jade Franklin 2nd, but out front, all the 32, the youngster from Grimsby, leading the way. You see the 3 of Shea Gemmel now up in the 6th spot, having a good run. And now a challenge for 3rd. Dale Shaw to the inside of Jade Franklin. Down into 1. He'll pile the Wellington Systems Incorporated number 83 on the bottom. Jade Franklin in trouble now. Caught on the high side. Will Ryan Dyson be able to take advantage? Franklin all the way down to the bottom to block Dyson's advance, but he can't. Now Jade Franklin again in trouble way up the speedway.
Yeah, and his spotter, Zachary Latimer, has to be screaming, be careful, be careful, be careful. Franklin now stuck on the top side, able to get good run, heading off to turn 1, but Caden Lapsevich pokes his way underneath. Now fights for 4th position as the charge continues. Back 4 for the 76, side by side off of turn 2, as both of them go with the lower line off.
Costing him about half a second to be in that high rent district in the outside as Caden Lapsevich to the bottom. Now here comes the 3 of Gemmel, the 07 of Nick Ramsey. Franklin doing all he can, but to no avail. Can't hold off Lapsevich. Now he will get a spot in line behind or in front of Gemmel, down into 1 and 2, and about the best that could have happened to Jade Franklin there.
Absolutely finally able to get to that bottom line, especially with Gemmel still on the oldest tires in the entire field. Keep an eye on the cars behind him, though. Right behind Nick Ramsey coming off turn 4 with Rick Spencer-Wald and Joe Lawrence both hard charging right behind him in the fight for the end of the top 10.
Again, that snake slithers down into turn 1. They get single file. Jordan Lawrence, 23.6 last time around, inside the top 10 in that APC Pennzoil sponsored number 78. Down the backstretch, they work behind him. He's got D'Enzo, as well as looks like the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt as well, racing inside that top 10.
Indeed, and this time a hard charge for multiple different drivers trying to pull away from Jamie Dyson. Near stack up off the corner, Spencer-Walt, bit of a bobble, so does Gemmel. Both drivers move to the bottom side. On the top side goes Ramsey. Joe Lawrence also forced to the top side. He checks up hard as Spencer-Walt breaks himself in turn 3, moves the 78 to the bottom in the fight for 8.
Well, I think Gemmel had some help in the form of the chrome horn off the front of Nick Ramsey's car. Ramsey now in trouble. He's got Jordan Lawrence to his left elbow. They slide their way down through 1 and 2. Here comes the 11 of Jamie Dyson now on the bottom. He'll get that car hugged on the inside. He'll now challenge Nick Ramsey for position out of the backstretch.
Ramsey had this problem at the start of the race. Once he got stuck in the middle of the top line, he went backwards and quickly. This time falls behind Jamie Dyson off of turn number 4 in the fight for P number 8. This time, hard defensive line cuts off the nose of the 97. Really stacks up the bottom side as Cole Tim now joins the fight to regain the top 10.
He hung a hard left, Justin, and he didn't signal at all. Right across the nose of D'Enzo's car. Now the 97 takes a peek to the inside. Ramsey will hold that line on. He was like, I am not letting anybody else get in the bottom of me in the corner.
Everybody wants to try and hold on to that bottom line. This time more conservative in the run up to turn number 1 with a bit more spacing. Ramsey tries to get back in a rhythm while Dyson and Gemmel slide up a touch in front. However, with Gemmel on those old tires, it's been now a gap that's grown to 8 car lengths behind the back bumper of Lawrence. Everybody stacking up behind that 3.
So we move past the halfway point here. Gemmel now holding things up. Here's the 11 of Jamie Dyson. Took a peek on the inside, couldn't get it done. Now he'll tuck back in line. You see that view out the back of Shea Gemmel's number 3 machine. Kells Garden City on the back trunk deck. And you see that 11 of Jamie Dyson. And now D'Enzo is going to make a charge on Ramsey again in the 07. The Mitchell Psycho Brandy Point Service Center number 07. Tyler working high and low.
Spoke a little bit with his dad prior to the race via Facebook tonight. Was really pleased with what he's seen for the action so far. Tyler, meanwhile, wants to take away 9. Good run off of turn 2. Peaks to the bottom in turn 3. Ramsey hard left to play defense. As D'Enzo once again tries to back up the corner. Can't diamond it off to try and set the pass. As Ramsey nearly headed off towards Grandma's house in the barriers.
D'Enzo, again, a second-generation racer. His dad, Rob D'Enzo, used to drive, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Pontiac Grand Prix number 89. Sponsored by Meinheim Mike Auctions. That was his Cast Car Super Series ride. And of course, Tyler started his career in a go-kart at the Flamborough Karting Club. Now, Jamie Dyson had a shot at Gemmel, messed up just a bit and almost fell into the clutches of the 07 of Ramsey. Now he's up and rolling again and on the assault. 50 to go. Next time by, Justin. We are getting to the late stages of this one again. I still think you're going to see an all-important one more pit stop before the end of this one coming from the guy who wins this race.
I think that's why Gemmel's playing so hard defensively to hold up these guys. It's 0.3 of a lap off each and every time. The leader, meanwhile, has dropped 3/4 in his pace from 10 laps ago. If Gemmel loses any of these spots, his gamble of staying out so early and staying on these old tires goes for naught. So if you are Gemmel, You're trying to make sure they fight behind you, and that's exactly what they've been doing this whole run. Not able to get any run by them, despite the fact these cars have been 3/10 slower than everybody else.
You got to think about, though, just how far can you go on a tank of fuel?
Yeah, that is an absolute potential risk still to potentially try and make it to the checker flag. If this goes to the end, he might absolutely run out of fuel the rate this is going. If it gets a caution flag, though, you come in.
I don't think he's going to make it to the end on fuel, no way, no how. I just mean he's got to be sweating, thinking we need a caution now to get on pit road under caution.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. Gemo, though, still has not allowed a run for Jamie Dyson this entire stint for Ramsey or for anyone else to dive to the bottom side, all while the top 6 have calmly spread themselves out just a little bit. Everybody else trying to still find their way by this 3.
Yeah, Shea Gemmel not doing anybody any favors right now, racing them hard. Now, to the bottom, guy having a peek was Ramsey, putting the heat on Dyson. Right behind that, you got DiVincenzo. Watch that 03 of Morneau. About time if he wants to make a move. It is time to start moving and shaking. You got a lot of cars to get by now. Gemmel's off the bottom. Opens up that inside lane for Jamie Dyson. Will he be able to get enough of a run, though, down the backstretch?
Not indeed, it looks like in the run to turn 3. He's really struggling to hold on to the bottom. High arc coming off at turn 4. Everybody else, though, just not able to get the launch as they slide off the corner in turn 4. That opens up the run for Dyson. He's forced up to the top. Ramsey tries to make contact. Slide for the 11. He saves it. DiVincenzo slides. Ramsey gets turned and the caution comes out. Morneau gets collected. Rick Spencer-Wolf also with nowhere to go.
Ramsey stuck it in there to the inside of Jamie Dyson. Is he up along the side of the door? No. Is he to the rear wheel? Definitely yes. And we'll see on the replay because it don't lie.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say. I think Jamie Dyson just closed the door on him, and he had his foot in it and had waited so long that he wasn't going to take his foot out of the doorway.
Yeah, he was trying to hold on to that bottom line quickly and probably thought that he was going to have back off the 07 was, except he didn't. Almost saved it. Did save it, but everyone else just stacked up behind with nowhere to go. On the bright side, if you're Shea Gemo, you just got the caution you needed. So now you get to keep the track position, make it on fuel. And get fresh tires because everyone came down.
Well, we'll see who else pits. Well, right now we'll welcome in Jamie Dyson, driving the 11 machine. Having a pretty good run up there.
Hey guys, yeah, it's been eventful so far. I was qualified pretty happy with my 5th, and then kind of got caught up in an incident, got some damage, came in and got her fixed, and worked my way back up to the top 10.
Now, you and Nick got together, and honestly, it was 2 guys out of patience trying to get around the 3 car on old tires is what it looked like.
Yeah, I couldn't get a run on Shea. Shea was doing a good job of keeping us behind him, and then Nick kind of got in, and I guess I clipped him when I tried to save it.
You just got 4 fresh tires. Are you guys good to the end now?
I would think so. Tires are falling off pretty quick here though, but track position is very important. This is a low feeder track, it's hard to pass.
Now tell us, you've been doing a lot of work this week getting ready for the Milwaukee Mile?
Yeah, actually I've never done a race at this track until this week. In fact, I bought it Saturday after the announcement. So, but this track is a hidden gem on iRacing. It's a blast to race. I'm having a lot of fun. Tight, tricky corners, but lots of room out there to pass. And there is a high groove, but the high groove doesn't work for passing, but you can hang out there. But yeah, no, this track's a lot of fun, and put in a lot of practice this week to get ready, and it showed with a qualifying 5th and getting back up into the top 10.
What's it going to take to knock out that 32 here today? He's been pretty awesome.
I don't know. I think it might take something that I don't want to happen to him. He's been quick. He's been the class of the field here today. But we might see a different Lapsovich on top of the board today.
Jamie Dyson joining us in the 11 car while we're finishing up this caution period. Thanks again. Good luck, Jamie.
Thanks, guys.
You got absolutely lucky, you have to say, though, with being able to save that car and make sure we didn't get involved in that wadded up situation 1 and 2. But here's some interesting calls here, Jamie. Lane Zardo stayed out on the racetrack. Joshua Stadi elected to take 2 tires. Everybody else here got damage repairs done and or 4 tires and fuel to make it to the end.
Well, we'll see which strategy is the winner. Lane Zardo is going to be in tough now with the whole field behind him. Stadi on 2 tires, maybe not a bad call. We'll see what happens here. Trent Lapsovich will restart second. Stadi in third. Zardo on the point. Caden Lapsovich up into 5th. And 4th to 28 of Ryan Dyson.
Buckle up, it's going to get wild as Lane Zardo brings them to the green flag for his first time of the race. Off and away through the gears they go. Trent Lapsovich on the outside for the green flag. Drag race off to turn 1. As already contact, Trent Lapsovich doors the car of Lane Zardo. Zardo now brake checks out for 2.
Not sure what happened there. Trent Lapsovich turned left before they were down in the corner. Now he's got to run to the inside of Zardo. Oh, we got one spinning. We got a big wreck on the backstretch. Multiple cars involved. DiVincenzo. Looks like the 22 of Jay Cox in there as well. Well, we stay green. No, yellow comes out now.
I think that might have been the cause of Cole Tim actually hitting the back end of Jamie Cox coming off of turn 2. With all that stacking up, just a better run for Tim, gave a bumper. That kind of forced Cox down to the bottom side, as you'll see on the replay here. Once he got to that bottom side, he tried to make room and ended up coming across some cars. You'll see the bump here first on the replay, and then just comes right up, trying to come back to the middle line into the 35 of Camrat.
Camrath, DiVincenzo took some hard looks. Andy Camrath, there was a Goodies Headache Award Powder Award of the Day. That'd be the guy claiming it right now. Rough afternoon for Andy Camrath.
Yeah, he had no idea that was going to be coming down that back straightaway. Was fully expecting to be able to focus on the corner, but Cox wanted to try and get up to that middle line and just ended up accidentally hitting them the door essentially. So now again, stacks everything up, and now Trent Lapsovich from that contact does have damage to the left side of his race car, just a little bit on the fender from the hit with Zardo, and took the lead.
Well, welcome in Ryan Dyson, driver of the 28 machine, up inside the top 5. Having a pretty good day. I mean, it is a fight for that bottom groove.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was going to go green to the end there. I was kind of biding the time, making tires under me there, and not getting full throttle right until we were perfectly straight and stuff, trying to save it for the last 25 to make a charge on Shaw and Trayton there, and gosh, kind of threw a little bit of a whirl into the strategy here. So I guess from here on out, it's just give her.
Are you done pitting unless something goes severely wrong?
Nothing's gonna go severely wrong, so yes, I'm pitting.
Tell us about racing up front. You guys got a pretty good hot rod all day.
Yeah, up until Monday, I'd never done a lap at this place, and it's really fun. It's really slick off, and you got to really make sure you get to the bottom and hit your marks right. And I'm having fun trying to figure out where to hit the rumble strips through 1 and 2, and it seems like every lap I'm trying something different. Just Trayton's pretty solid up there, so searching around, seeing if we can't find something. But this place is a lot of fun.
How tough has that 32 been tonight?
Well, I guess I would say bulletproof at this point. He hasn't missed a beat or anything, and I'm hoping he misses one here soon.
What's it going to take to make the win here?
I guess just what I said. Just Trayton's going to have to screw up. We were 1.4 seconds behind him that entire 20 or 30 lap green flag round. Didn't gain, didn't lose. So I think he's going to have to mess up for me to get by him.
Ryan Dyson here in the late stages of the Milwaukee Mile, joining us on the air, the eSERIES broadcast, brought to you by Pennzoil, Grisdale Enterprise, and APC.
Alrighty, getting ready for another restart, it appears here, Jamie. It has been wild, this mid-portion of the race, to say the very least. I'm not sure what you're expecting here. I'm expecting potential craziness here too, because Zardo is still in that second position on the oldest tires in the field, mind you. Going to be on lap 40 of his stint on those tires, including the caution flag laps.
Well, you also have on the inside Josh Stoddy back in 5th. Dale Shaw, the big mover on that restart, from 6th up to 4th. But again, he is behind Zardo on this restart. He's got to get to the bottom or do something with that 46. Field in the hands of Trayton Lapsevich off turn 4. Going to be starting lap 89 when they hit the start-finish line. Good job by Zardo trying to keep pace down into 1, but he's in some trouble. Way up high goes the 46, and they come streaming to the bottom.
Dale Shaw now tries to move his way up to 3rd position. In good position for turn 3, near 3 wide behind. Stoddy tries to dive. Jade Franklin gives the door to Zardo. Zardo slides up the track, able to save it. He'll drop outside the top 10 as they shuffle out of turn 4 in the lead group. Stoddy now moves up to 4th, while Caden Lapsevich now tries to defend the bottom into 1.
Big save by Layden Zardo, but by the time he did save it, he lost about a dozen spots. Way back in the pack now. They're still scrambling. Stoddy trying to hold off everybody on those 2 tires, but here they come to the bottom of that 17 Rona MEI paving machine.
Craziness right behind them too, where Zardo shuffled out near 2-3 wide after drivers went off in the grass in turn 1. The group leading that is Zardo, followed by Ramsey Morton, with the rest of the car shuffling along. Leaders continue to run away from this group of drivers, though, still side by side and still cutting the way forward. Joe Lawrence on a recovery drive. Cole Tim looking to regain positions, all while Jamie Dyson looks to do the same.
Tim takes a peek to the inside of Jordan Lawrence. A little contact there. The chrome horn send Lawrence up the speedway. Tim to the bottom now. A little contact off turn 4 now. Jade Franklin getting a really good view of this battle. We're just a couple laps away from 30 to go. Now contact again. Tim and Lawrence, they're not done. Franklin to the inside. This is going to get ugly down into 3 and 4. Can Lawrence get to the back bumper of Tim? We know payback's coming if he can. Doesn't quite get there for the time being. Off turn 4, Cole Tim holds the spot. Lawrence behind him. Franklin in the mix as well. Now here comes Lawrence again to the bottom.
Lawrence dives his way to the inside in turn 1. Tries to shove Tim up the racetrack. Lawrence misses the bottom. Tries to swing it around as he bobbles loose. Gets the better run off the corner. Right behind Jade Franklin now tries to poke his nose underneath the fender of the 57. Able to do so into turn 3. Move Lawrence up 1 spot to the top 5. All while Franklin now tries to shove his way to 6th.
Franklin underneath Tim. That's for the position. Down the front stretch they work. Lawrence able to get away. Going to be 30 to go. Next time by, Tim will now tuck in the line. Gives it back to Jade Franklin off turn 2. Gets him a little sideways. Cole Tim using the chrome horn here this evening.
You get a chrome horn. Everyone gets a chrome horn at this point. Everybody using the bumpers the way this is shaping out. However, Tim losing ground to the back end of Jade Franklin off of 4. Rick Spencer won't now with the major run to the inside. The JM Painting North Bay machine nearly gets to the bottom, gets cut off on the front nose by Cole Tim off of 2.
Hey, Spencer Waltz had a pretty good first 2 rounds to the APC eSERIES. 12th place finish at USA International Speedway before going 5th at Richmond. 8.5 his average finish position. 5th of all the drivers who have made 2 starts.
As this is all shaped up, Dale Shaw has been attacking the back bumper of Ryan Dyson for a good 3-4 laps. Gonna get interesting as these drivers settle on in. Towards second down the back straightaway, Dyson Curley trying to defend. Dale Shaw, one of the quickest cars on the racetrack last time by, still maintains rhythm in the Thompson photography machine as he tries to get the one off the corner, off of turn 4, loses some ground this time.
Yeah, you see the view out of Dale Shaw's front windscreen. Third place, he trails only Ryan Dyson and Trayton Lapsevich. Trayton about half a second out front, but Dale Shaw is coming, trying to put the heat on the 28 of Ryan Dyson down the backstretch. Dyson 6th place in the opener, second last time out. He wants to win, but he's got to get by Trenton to get it done.
Right now, last time by, Ryan Dyson and Dale Shaw were both even, if not quicker than the leader. This time by, Lapsevich, the second quickest out of the drivers. Dale Shaw, the quickest. Good run off of 2. Dyson slides up the track. Dale Shaw keeps his foot in it, pokes his way to the bottom side into turn number 3. Dyson gives him space. Shaw dives it in along the rumble strips.
Almost looks like Dyson bobbled just a tad, and it was enough that Dale Shaw could pile down to the inside. Shaw now has the preferred groove down the front stretch. They'll work into turn 1. We're closing in on 25 to go. Trayton Lapsevich could have his biggest challenge of the evening now, up in the second spot.
The gap he has to close, though, for Dale Shaw is 7/10 of a second, 3/4 of a second to be precise. This could get interesting as this has gone on. Joe Lawrence is also charging, the only driver outside of Trayton Lapsevich in the 29 Fords at the moment. Just made the move on Caden Lapsevich in 3 and 4. He's also coming to join the fight.
You wonder how much that damage from earlier tonight is affecting that 76 machine. He's now going back to work on Jordan Lawrence, but Lawrence able to keep Lapsevich at bay, heading down into turn 3 and 4. But again, Lapsevich right there in that 76 machine, tucked right under the rear spoiler of Jordan Lawrence.
Lawrence stances his way off of turn 4, still gets some good speed down the straightaway off into turn 1. His Camaro tries to run up the middle bottom line, tries to dive in the corner. Caden Lapsevich flatter apex off. Still not able to close up the gap. They're starting to get dead even in pace. The question's going to be, did Joe Lawrence burn up his tires trying to get himself up to 4th?
Well, so far, Trayton Lapsevich out front has been able to control the pace, control the race, control how hard he works that 32 machine. You see the view from his brother's car, the 76 of Caden Lapsevich, sitting 5th, tucked right up under the rear spoiler of Jordan Lawrence's number 78 machine. Lawrence runs 4th as they swing off turn 2. Down the backstretch here at the Milwaukee Mile, just over 20 laps to go to decide this one.
To be precise, coming to 23 to go this time by. 4th has separated a touch. Joe Lawrence with a bad bobble off the corner, closed the gap somewhat quickly. But keep an eye on the race leader. Trayton Lapsevich is losing 0.5 of a second a lap now to Dale Shaw. Shaw slowly but surely closing back in the 83 machine. He looks to try and get the victory, while Trayton Lapsevich looks to try and make it a 3-for-3 effort for the Lapseviches in these races. Back through turn number 1 once again along the bottom side. All the drivers rumble forward as they continue to try and shuffle on forward. Shaw closes a little bit more this time. Coming off the corner, seems like turn 2, his best exit. This time, gains a lot more. Going through the puffs of smoke as they exit turn 4. Gap is down to 0.5 seconds, Jamie.
And catching that 32 of Trayton Lapsevich is one thing, but getting by him is going to be something entirely different. That 32 has been stout all night long. We'll see just how good this 83 gets in the late going. And the other thing in front of them, you see off in the distance, little lap traffic play into this one. A long run here, 20 laps to go.
Yeah, they have Nick Ramsey, who was in a little bit of trouble a couple laps ago in the 07 machine, now with significant damage in 23rd position. Is the first car they'll have to lap. That's where the puffs of smoke came from. We stayed green, though, from that trouble. That involved 3 different drivers. He's in the 31s, the leaders. They're still in the 29.6s. That's how much this track has cooled off as the race has gone on. We started this feature at 99 degrees Fahrenheit around that mark, Jamie. It's 89 degrees Fahrenheit now.
Well, and you can see just how much it has affected the grip of these cars. Just a lot more grip on these machines. And out front, it's Lapsevich and Shaw. It can be measured in car lengths now. And you can count them all in one hand. Dale Shaw is there. What's he going to do with the young driver, the 32?
Going to be interesting to see if Shaw tries to do it cleanly or has to use some contact. Slowly but surely, he's been eating up Trey Lapsevich on every corner entry for the past few laps. Now 0.2 of a second the gap into turn 1. Watch once more. Shaw again later on the brakes. Closes the gap from 2 car lengths down to half a car length off of 2.
Well, the whole question, I think, is going to be whether the 83 is going to move the 32. If the 32 doesn't make a mistake, you can see Trayton Lapsevich, he catches the rumble strips in and out with the little diamond in the middle. Shaw pretty consistent as far as his distance away from the curb every corner. Now down into 1 and 2 they work. You see the rear end of that 32 machine go up in the air. Great view from the nose of Shaw's car. He is there. Going to be 15 laps to go. Next time by.
And the traffic is slowly becoming a potential factor. About 15 car lengths, remember, in front of these leaders. Dale Shaw waiting patiently this time off of turn 4. Keeps the gap at 0.2 of a second, heading back into turn 1. Each and every quarter entry has been better than Trayton Lapsevich. He's passed 10 laps. Dale Shaw a little more patient this time. Was actually slower than the race leader last time by the stripe. Back into turn 3. See if Shaw can send it in. Tries to send it in. Has to check up.
He sent it, but definitely hopped on the brakes. He has got Lapsevich looking in the mirror now. Trayton Lapsevich down the front stretch. They work. Shaw runs second. All eyes on this battle for the lead through 1 and 2. Lapsevich slides up just a bit to get diamonds a corner coming off.
Continue to try and dice their way through the corners here. Coming up 14 to go this time by. Gap between them and the lap traffic now to 10 car lengths. Shaw. Question's going to be, does he have enough field good left in his tires to close up? They do have to deal with Ramsey in the next couple laps, as well as Jay Dewar, Jason Wood, and Jamie Cox, who are just up the road.
Off turn 2 they work. Down this long back stretch. Your leader, Trayton Lapsevich. Second, Dale Shaw again. This is the oldest operational track in the United States of America. They held their first motor race here in 1903. A lot of memories since then. Trayton Lapsevich trying to make another one here tonight. Working lap 112 of 125. He's got Dale Shaw beating down the back door. Shaw's been running second and hounding his every move for the last 10 laps.
Last time by, Shaw was actually quicker than the race leader once again. He starts to pick it up a touch. Traffic just up the road now. Shaw tries to poke his nose underneath. Can't get to the corner panel of Lapsevich. Lapsevich with a better run off of turn 4. Brings the gap back up to 0.2 of a second. As now Ramsey and the rest of the lap traffic are about to become a factor coming off of turn number 2.
Oh, a little pack there off turn 2. Trayton Lapsevich down the backstretch. There's 4 of them that it looks like they might have to deal with before the end of this one. What does Dale Shaw do working his way through lap traffic? Lapsevich down to the bottom, works it back up against the concrete down the front stretch. Dale Shaw right behind him. Ramsey to the inside of Dewar. You see Jay Dewar way up the speedway, giving the leaders all the room they need off turn 2. Down the back stretch they work again. Ramsey's going to pick up another spot. And we'll see what happens when the leaders get there.
10 to go this time by. Out of the way goes Jason Wood way up the racetrack. Shaw has to get off the gas a touch. Not as good of a corner exit. Still have to get by Ramsey. Then Jamie Cox. Off into turn 1, and Ramsey is not moving. He's keeping it on the bottom of the racetrack. Lapsevich forced to check up. He tries to take it on the high side now. Able to get the good run as Shaw tries to launch it.
Well, Ramsey kept it on the bottom coming off turn 2. Left the whole outside groove for both Lapsevich and Shaw. Now, Shaw goes in high, trying to get this thing to cut. He's trying different techniques to get a run off that corner on the 32, but so far, the 32 has not cracked under the pressure. Trayton Lapsevich holds him off with less than 10 to go.
Trayton Lapsevich staying as cool as a cucumber in that white and blue machine. It has a bit of a bobble. Shaw has a worse exit though off turn 2. Still in the 29.9s. Still some of the fastest cars in the field as this is going on. Ryan Dyson and Joe Lawrence are slowly reeling these two in as they have to deal with this traffic.
What does that say? Should we get a caution here? Are you looking at third and fourth actually being a little quicker than these front two right now? Here's that battle for third off turn 2. Down the backstretch, Dyson has the spot. Lawrence runs fourth. Back to your leaders in 3 and 4. Lapsevich up the speedway, just made some contact with him and Shaw.
And Shaw showing his hand. He wants to use the bumper. 7 to go this time by. Lapsevich has been able to stick his line just about every single lap. He's led a majority of the way. And now Dan Shaw tries to pull it off the corner. Has to check him again as Lapsevich has the better corner exit. Lap traffic ahead though. Jamie Cox now up the road.
You can see the 32 struggling when he gets to the middle. Right there. Seems to have a little issue, and the 83 of Shaw able to close up on him. If it's going to happen, it's going to be dead center of one of these corners. Now Shaw takes a peek to the inside, filling the side mirror of that 32 car. So far, Lapsevich not cracked as he tries his best to keep it on the inside lane.
Shaw tried to poke his way on that bottom side in turn 1. Will he give him the shot in turn 3? Tries to send it, forced to check up for the apex. Tries to launch it off the corner. Both dead even off the exit once more. The gap between them about a 10.5, coming to 5 to go this time by.
Into one they swing. Lapsevich puts it right on the bottom. Drifts up just a bit as he has been all evening long. Touches the curb again on the apex to turn 2 and keeps Dale Shaw behind him.
Shaw once again careful coming through 3 and 4. Hit the rumble strips a touch in 3. Trayton Lapsevich still playing defense. Now 4 laps to go. Traffic no longer a factor for the top 2. It becomes the question, can Shaw get his way by the 32 in time?
Lapsevich leads him off turn 2, keeps Shaw at bay for the time being. Dyson looks like he's got a little breathing room on Lawrence, but all eyes swing back into 3 and 4 to the battle up front. Lapsevich leads, Shaw second. Off 4 they come, down to the stripe. 3 laps to go this time by for Trayton Lapsevich.
Buckle up your seatbelts. It's going to be a wild one. Shaw tries to lift the back end of Lapsevich's car. Lapsevich uses it to launch the corner better. He bobbles off the exit. Shaw now tries to get the run. Will he use the bumper again in turn 3? Much harder corner entry. This time, no. Tries to time it off the corner. Still can't get the run to the bottom as Lapsevich slides.
Shaw is doing everything but laying the bumper to that 32 machine. Lapsevich slams the door halfway down the straightaway. We'll see how Shaw reacts. Shaw right up under the rear bumper of Lapsevich. Off turn 2 they come, down the back stretch, lap and a half to go.
Coming to the white flag this time by. This could be the move to decide the race. Traffic starting to get thick with Carson Nagy and Shea Gimmel up the road. But Trayton Lapsevich gets the white flag this time by. Shaw with a great run. Big block from Lapsevich into turn 1. Defends the bottom. Hard hit to the inside wall. Shaw makes contact. Both slide. Trayton Lapsevich to the inside wall. Shaw gets through. Shaw's the race leader off of turn 2.
Down the back stretch they work. Shaw, Trayton Lapsevich is recovered, but he is a long ways back as he gets that 32 up and rolling again. He made the block on the 83 the first time. The second time, Dale Shaw said, I'm not lifting. Contact ensued. The 32 into the infield. Dale Shaw wins race number 3 of the APC eSERIES after a tremendous battle for the lead with Trayden Lapcevich.
What a finish. And don't blame Shaw at all for giving the bumper with that situation, with that big block. What a way to win his first APC eSERIES race, as there's Caden to defend his brother.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Caden pull alongside Dale Shaw. Shaw, your winner. We'll just wait till he parks that in virtual victory lane, and then we'll get a word with your feature winner.
I don't know.
Well, welcome into the broadcast, Dale Shaw. Feature win here tonight. Wow, what a race, Dale.
Man, I'm exhausted. I am so bad. That was the hardest I've ever worked on the sim for I don't know how many laps. I'm trying to chase him down.
You gained on him. You got to his bumper. You started to put the heat on him. Were you thinking, I'm going to have to use the bumper?
Well, I thought I had my nose there the first time. And he came down, which is what you had to do. And then that last lap there, I thought I had my nose in there, but I haven't watched the replay. I will go back and watch it. But if I didn't have my nose there, I apologize. But it was all you could do.
It was for a race win in Milwaukee. You're stuffing it in there no matter what.
Yeah, well, I hate winning races like that, but like I said, I gotta go back and watch the replay. And if I wasn't there, obviously I'm gonna apologize to him. But man, he's a good runner. He was driving that thing sideways off a corner and staying with it, and I was just trying to stay smooth and hit my marks. And the smooth thing caught him there at the end, but with this one group race, it's tough to pass. I'll tell you what.
Hey, and I know you're one of the better guys of the APC drivers at doing this, but let's talk about your fellow competitors. Another really good race here tonight, like Richmond. Guys are getting it figured out. It's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed a big improvement in guys like Stoddy, and I see Rick Burbridge with a top 10. Rick Wald, another guy, is just on here with a 7. So yeah, the guys are getting better and better every week. And when this deal started, there was 8 or 10 guys that were they knew what they were doing, but they were ahead of the gap, and that gap is slowly closing, similar to a rookie class in a real life division as the season gone on. So you're just getting tougher and tougher to get through the field.
I see you got a new sponsor on the hood of that 83.
Yeah, my buddy Thompson Photography called me the other day and he says, "Hey, I want to sponsor you." And I said, "No, I'll put your name on the hood on anyways. Don't worry about it." They do awesome stuff, and they've done some GoPro stuff with me in real life, so I thought I'd shout them out. And then Rick and Pam Forbes on the hood, they help us out a ton. They came on big this year, and if we ever get racing, we're hoping to showcase what they've done for us. And Jennifer Hatch Realty, Wellington Systems, Hose Tech, my Uncle Mikey, all my family and friends, and my spotter Dustin. He did an awesome job tonight. And it's a lot of fun. We get to practice the real life stuff on here. He spots for me in real life, and I spot for him at Sunset Speedway. So he does an awesome job on the sim here. And I got to thank all you guys for putting this on, and the Dysons for all their hard work, and Luke Ramsey for coming out and showing us how it's done.
Hey, how much partying is there tonight before you turn your focus before getting ready for next week?
Oh, my kid's going to be up in about 6 or 7 hours, so there won't be a lot of partying tonight.
Dale Shaw, ladies and gentlemen, your feature winner here. A great duel in the late stages with Trayden Lapcevich. He takes race number 3 here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Crazy finish indeed for that race win, but quietly as that all unfolded, Ryan Dyson moved his way to second position. And he's standing by with me right now. Ryan, first things first, hard-fought race. How are you feeling?
I feel like I'm gonna go over to David's Bridal or something if they're open and grab me a bridesmaid. So how's that sound?
Sure. If whatever floats your boat, but you had a hard-fought battle throughout that entire last run of the race with Joe Lawrence. What was going through your head as this race developed, and this race had a phenomenal finish?
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row something like that's happened on the last through it, and going into one, I was glad checked up because I checked up when they started going, and I saw the C's part in front of me, and Shaw went high and Trayton spun low, and there's a couple lap cars in the way and stuff, so I didn't want to throw it in there and try and get to Dale, so I just settled for a bridesmaid here again. It was a fun race tonight. Strategy didn't quite work out. I don't know that last pit stop. I didn't put any fuel in the car. I'm not sure if that was part of the problem that last run. I lost all my speed that last run. I'm not sure what happened. I just started to plow in the middle of the corner, and then obviously when you can't rotate, you can't get a good launch, and I lost connection with the front two there. So I'm not sure if the fuel was the problem there or what I did.
Yeah, interesting. Either way, though, still coming away with a second place finish. Basically, now what's the focus now? Because there is another race coming up next week, another 150 laps at Five Flags.
Yeah, we'll get on here and practice as much as we can this week. And Five Flags is a pretty tough track. It's got a massive bump in 3 and 4, and really upsets the car. So have to get on there and do lots of laps and see if we can get one spot better. That's 2 weeks in a row now, bridesmaid, and I think we were 6th in the first one. So it's got to put me up there for average finishes, but yeah, hopefully we can go one spot better next week.
Anyone you want to thank for being a part of your top 3 finish tonight?
I'm just excited to represent our real life sponsors with our Delaware Speedway and Grand Bend Speedway truck. Got to thank APC Auto Parts Centers, Epic Raceware, McMaster Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick GMC, Thorn Property Management Limited, 2020 Insurance, Lucas Oil, Frankengas Pizza, Our Expression Studio, Puckstoppers Goaltending Services, Blackfly Beverage Co., and you know, got to thank all my crew that helped me get the real life car ready in the off season, so we're ready to go whenever this virus goes away. Got to thank every one of them.
Congratulations, second place finish tonight. Well-deserved run.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That was Ryan Dyson coming home second tonight. Third place finisher Joe Lawrence is standing by with Jamie.
Well, first of all, Joe Lawrence, a solid podium run for you, a good outing, and you seem to have this iRacing thing figured out.
Yeah, we're still trying to get that win, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see everybody progress and get a lot better. The field's starting to get hard to drive through, so it's not so fun being at the back anymore.
You need those announcers out there to pick on them, right?
Yeah, that would help a lot, I think.
Tell me about your race against Ryan Dyson for what turned out to be the runner-up spot in the late stages. I mean, you guys were going at it the last 25 or so laps.
Yeah, it was definitely, I started to track him down there at the end. It's so hard to get a run and get up underneath someone at this track, but you want to do it cleanly, so I was trying, and he was doing everything right, hit his marks, and just he didn't make a mistake that I could capitalize.
Still a solid third place finish. It's the second time you've been on the podium for the first through the first 3 weeks. This should move you up in the power rankings.
I sure hope so. I need a little bit more luck to seal the deal here, but coming back through the field a couple times just doesn't help. So hopefully we can get the qualifying next week and stay up front the whole time, and hopefully that leads to a win. But all in all, this was a lot of fun. I got to thank, I had a couple friends, Colby and Nolan said they were watching. I got to shout out to them. Love seeing them at the racetracks, and all the other fans that tuned in to watch. It's great to see a series like this online.
Your 2019 APC Rookie of the Year, Jordan Lawrence, a solid third place finish here this evening.
Thanks, guys.
And Jamie, what a show tonight, to say at the very least. Have to give credit to some of the great runs that happened tonight. Dale Shaw, of course, we talked about the race winner. Dyson holding on to that second place. But Joe Lawrence, 20 positions gained as this race went on tonight. Jade Franklin quietly got a top 5, got some good luck tonight. Trey Lapsevich, he still held on for a 6th place finish despite what happened to him in that battle for the race lead. Rick Spencer Walt also improved, a plus 12 for him tonight. And then you have Burbridge, even with that contact early in the race, went for 28 to 10th to come home with a top 10 finish along with Jamie Dyson, Josh Stotty. What a race at Milwaukee Mile, the best one I think we've had so far.
Yeah, it was another stellar performance. Like I said, the Richmond race was good last week, but this could have topped it. A great finish, some great hard racing between Trayton Lapsevich and Dale Shaw at the front. One that the folks soon won't forget. Justin, just remember on your way home tonight, For every mile of road, there's 2 miles of ditch, so please be safe out there. We'd like to thank everybody for joining. Round number 3 of the APC eSERIES Late Model Racing Series presented by Drysdale Racing Enterprises and Pennzoil Motor Oil and Lubricants. On behalf of myself, Justin Prince, the entire APC staff, would like to thank you for joining us this evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next Thursday night, 8 o'clock, as the stars of the APC Late Model Series take on Five Flags International Raceway in Pensacola, Florida.
This is a copyrighted production of 39 Productions, www.39designcompany.com, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of 39 Productions. The opinions expressed in this programming are those of the host, co-host, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and/or ownership of either 39 Productions, the advertisers, or our marketing partners.